Hi, I'm Michael Welch, President and Chief Executive Officer of Rocky Mountain High Brands. Welcome to our last podcast of the year and the one that I've been waiting for ever since we started this series. We've got great news today all the way around. So the Farm Bill passed. President Trump signed it into law before Christmas, which is great news for our company and great news for the entire hemp and CBD industry. But that's not really the great news for our company that we're going to talk about today. The great news for our company is that we finally got our first purchase order from CBD Life, which is the company that we're now dealing with instead of CBD Alimentos. They've signed our contract from CBD Alimentos to CBD Life, and we have worked out the pricing details. The money is being wired to us at this point in time for the deposit. So we're very excited about that. And we're going to talk about the details with my unofficial co-host, who doesn't know who Ed McMahon is.
I forgot Christian to Google Vega. It. Sorry. I was kind of busy doing other things. Don't know if you guys noticed at the office. The party office, that's what I call it.
So, Christian, we have an official press release that's going out in the morning.
That's right. That's right.
So we have our first purchase order for a sample test run for 2 million cans of beverages to be used as sales samples in Mexico.
Right, right.
So explain that to everybody.
Well, when we started this whole deal, we had amounts set, our projections were set. And when the law took a little longer than what we anticipated, pushed back all the way towards November, and we were all there working really hard to get that approved, we had to renegotiate deals with all the distribution companies in Mexico, actually the retail companies who we've been talking to for the past whole year. And as soon as the law went into effect, as soon as everything was approved, the Mexican company decided to do this route to get something started with our drinks. We thought about having a small pallet for a tryout to cross the border. We thought that's kind of how it was going to go, but then they came back and said, no, we need 100,000 of this, 100,000 of this, 500,000 of this. And so they bulked it all together for a sample trial. That's been happening in the past probably 3 weeks to finalize. Mm-hmm. And as we speak, we have another purchase order coming through, sometime in January, probably the beginning of January. But we need to get something started. And
right.
We're trying to reserve the space that retailers have given our client in Mexico. So we need to put something there now quickly. It's a lot easier to get 2 million cans faster than it would be if we do 16 million cans or 20 million cans. Right. So they committed to that, and some of the retail companies and that wanted to have it on their shelves as soon as possible have committed to that. So that's where we're starting. Lately in the news, as you're going to show later on, our Mexican client has been traveling all over the nation, finalizing contracts and deals and purchase orders from their clients. And so I believe there was an article that just came out in a Mexican newspaper that he has pretty much landed and sealed 40,000 stores right now, not including other channels of sales such as Amazon Mexico.
Right.
They finally got approved, right, and they're officially approved by Amazon MX, which is Amazon Mexico, to be their e-commerce channel. So they're not going through a website channel. They're not going through, digital marketing and all. They're going straight to the major source, which is Amazon. And it was about 3 or 4 meetings with them to everything got, approved, prices, logistics. And once that got approved, then now the real work is going to start even more. So, everybody's like, oh, 2 million, that's great. I'm like, no, that's nothing. That's nothing. Like this is why it's a partnership, right? They get to do the dirty work over there, getting all this stuff done and getting retails and getting companies. And now we get to do all the other part of the work. So,
right. So now we start our production planning and all the scheduling part of this and the lead time on the ingredients and the cans and the can tops and all the things that we've been working on behind the scenes that not everybody understands. And so now the real work begins.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, part of the situation was that when we started this whole deal in 2017, no, December 2017, went into January 2018, and we had given them a price.
Right.
And we had our suppliers and our co-packers committed to a certain price. Down the road, we get hit with tariffs
right.
and other, unforeseen situations that had raised the price.
Right.
And so for the past probably a couple months, or if not more, down to just a couple days ago, we finally got commitments from our suppliers to honor the previous price. And we understood that there was tariffs. So we understood that. So we had to go back to our client, and our client had to go back to his clients and say, hey, this just went up a little bit, and it was out of our control, and that was a difficult conversation. Regardless, they still would say we want to get this started with 2 million cans. And that's one of the reasons why we don't have the other purchase order yet, because we had to finalize the price and give it to them so they can turn around and give it to their major retail clients, so who they're talking to. So,
right.
And they feel confident that beginning of the year, when everybody comes back from the holidays, that all those will be officially approved. Right now, it's basically a order, or a gentleman's contract and a word of honor that they're going to go with it. They accepted the price, but until we get the purchase order in a few weeks, then we'll see
the second purchase
order.
Right.
Yeah.
So for us, the way this worked on the first one is they actually gave us a preliminary purchase order 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We took the unit prices, refined those. I've watched you through blood, sweat, and tears negotiating with ingredient vendors, can manufacturers, co-packers, on the phone. With the spreadsheet that you work from on the unit prices. And you've done an excellent job in getting those prices down and negotiating with various parties. And then you presented those before Christmas. And if my memory serves me correct, it was late on Christmas Eve that we got notification that they approved the pricing that was submitted to them. Yeah. So it was a nice Christmas present.
Absolutely. I forwarded the email to you guys and said Merry Christmas to everybody. But when I got the phone call, I went ahead and reminded everybody in Mexico. I said, you guys do realize today's baby Jesus' birthday, right? But I mean, that's fine. You guys want to face it. I'll answer the phone call. I work 24/7, so it is what it is. So yeah, that was that Christmas or the 24th. That's when I got the phone call, and Christmas came early. And again, when I saw the Christmas present was the fact that prices were approved, because that was sort of a sticky situation.
Right.
Our client is not competing against himself, because he will be the only provider of CBD beverages in Mexico, right? He is going after Red Bull and Monster, as we stated many times through the podcasts before here. He wants to replace the Monsters of Mexico and the Red Bull of Mexico fans with CBD, Rocket High, and Limonada and Té Negro for those fans. He wants to take away Monster away and put Rocket High in their hands. And that's where we take a lot of pride, because it took a whole year just to develop this drink. The fact that you have to mix oil with water, it's not that simple. I mean, I can name scientists and chemist guys that we went through, that was, even one of them or a couple of them were like, this is not possible, guys. And we're like, no, it has to be possible.
We need to develop a hall of fame in our office with pictures of all the people that have worked on this that are both there and no longer there.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'd like to do is, before we do that, one of the things I'd like to point out is we are doing an amendment to the contract that will be signed after the holidays that for the sticklers in the group, of which I'm one, will basically do some cleanup to the contract. It will actually assign the contract from CBD Alimentos to CBD Life. It will move the minimum quantity that we have in the contract from 2018 to 2019. We're actually moving that into 2019. So it does some cleanup to the contract that we've agreed to with the RCH Grupo folks, and we've already verbally agreed to that, but we will actually file an amendment that will be an 8K filing. So anticipate that sometime after the first of the year. The other thing I'd like to do is actually, if Matt, if you put the purchase order up, we'll actually show everybody what we're what we're dealing with. So this is the actual purchase order that we received, with the final prices on it. So the total of the purchase order is $932,600, and this is just for the sample purchase order. So we expect the follow-up purchase order sometime after the first of the year to be a much greater number, and above and beyond that, in 2019, the numbers to just continue to grow.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is not a one-time purchase of X amount of millions of cans. It's a partnership of us supplying drinks for the whole entire country of Mexico. Right. So if you put out the purchase order again, it just defines that, there was more demand for the Rocket High Energy as far as when they put stuff out there to their clients, and the sugar-free, and then you got, the numbers are different because we're doing different tryouts over there. So, next purchase order, it may just be 2 drinks that equals 10 million cans. I don't know. Right. But we'll find out. That's why they were doing this test run.
So they'll use these drinks to actually secure the other orders with.
Exactly.
And then our deposit that we've received confirmation today that we'll receive from them is half of this amount.
Yeah, so. Half of it. I mean, at one point we were talking about, just getting, there was a saying in the office from your accounting department, Christian, did you bring me $1 million yet? Did you bring me $1 million yet? And by God, I'll show you the text message that I send them, right? You've seen some of my text messages, and I said, I need this, and I need $1 million, and I need it today. We need to make this happen, guys, because I got to lock a lot of the pricing, so people understand out there, we put pressure on that because we needed to lock up prices that I had just negotiated with the help of everybody in the office. It wasn't just me. There was Oscar, there was Kathy Fernandez, there was Chuck, there was yourself, Michael. You integrated into the team to get David involved in California and get some of these numbers back to me. It was a group effort. I strongly believe that. At one point, for me to lock some of these prices, I would offer the suppliers, would you like me to pay you everything up front? Right. And they would just kind of stay quiet. Well, who are you guys again? And who is your Mexican contact? And I'm like, doesn't matter. You want me to pay you up front? I just need to get this price that we talked about negotiated, and I need you to lock it. And so I would turn around and tell our Mexican client, which again, one is in France, 7 hours ahead of us, and the other one travels all over the city, all over the nation in Mexico. He's right now in South America, going back and forth. I need this, I need that, and let's make it happen. Let's do this. So it was an intensive work for the past 2 weeks,
right. It has been,
over the weekend, It's Sunday, is there anything I can do to help? Can you ask David for this? Okay, I'm on it. I'm like, okay, I'm on this. So everybody jumped on it. So It was a great.
Definitely was a team effort.
You know, this company has turned so differently in the environment, the atmosphere, the vibe. It's, I mean, it's not an easy job. It's not an easy job, but it has definitely turned into a family environment.
Right.
Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're not happy, but we definitely got everyone's back,
right,
and we work with each other. So
yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Well, let's move in and show everybody the websites that CBD Life has created for these drinks, because they're very impressive. I mean, I know you were impressed. I was impressed, and we were like, they couldn't have done a better job.
I got the opportunity to work with them.
I know. So, it's amazing. So, Matt, if you could pull up the Rocket High website that they've developed and kind of scroll through it, because it's if you can show some of the movement, the different colors. I love the vibrancy of the colors in it, and what it looks like when you just scroll through it. Of course, not being bilingual, I have no idea what it says.
There was actually a video too, and I guess you guys, we'll put it on the next podcast as well, but there was videos that they put together for social media as well.
They have an impressive Facebook presence too. Mm-hmm. So if you could move to the California drink this page. So this has a different feel to it, which is a little more sophisticated and definitely has the California look to it.
Absolutely. It just feels like chilling, relaxing, and sort of a retro kind of style.
Right.
And they focus a lot on California, and the beach and the way it looks and the way it makes you feel. When you see this website, it really makes you feel like, oh man, California is a place I want to go hang out for a little bit.
Right.
But then I want to come back right to Texas.
And then I want to show on our website, if you go to the Rocky Mountain High brands, I think we actually did a snapshot of or a screenshot of this, Matt. This is on our brands. So on our brands page from the Rocky Mountain High corporate website, we have a private label section. And on the private label section, we have our Rocket High and California drinks. We've added the labels to this, and we've shown on the labels the connection between the Powered by Rocky Mountain High, the connection to CBD Life, and the COFEPRIS permit numbers.
Mm-hmm. This is very important that our shareholders have to, for them to hear us out, because part of the contract, in fact, in the whole entire contract, there's nowhere it says that we have, or our Mexican client has to say that the drinks were powered by Rocky Mountain High. Nowhere. This was definitely a sign of, of them saying thanks for helping us out, make this as accessible to every Mexican citizen in Mexico working with us, and it helped us out being international. Our drinks, when they're in the OXXO stores, the Rocket High would show Powered by Rocky Mountain High right in the front. The California teas and California lemonades were in the front, but because they had to add more stuff to the label, right below where it says CBD sin gluten, it was right there in between the letters and the gluten, but it got really small.
Right.
And so when I was talking to the art department in Mexico, they said, can we put it right behind it? And again, I was very appreciative that they're giving us an option to work with them.
Right.
And it's not just like, I don't have to have it, dude. I just need my drinks. They're like, no, let's see where we can put it at. And they made it actually a little bit bigger in the back.
So talk about the importance of that with the crossover between Mexico and the United States, and the Hispanic population in the United States seeing these drinks in Mexico, and how that's going to translate and how important that is for our company.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this has put us in the map in front of 50 million Hispanic folks in the United States. This has opened a door for us to go after that market as well.
Right.
In the United States. One of the toughest markets in the United States is the Latino market. They're not easy to please, but once you get there, they're extremely loyal to a product, and they're very, very, they're return customers. Mm-hmm. So They take very much pride on stuff that comes from their country of origin, if it's either Mexico or Latin America down below. And they're very supportive of it. And so we're working details with them about this product in the United States and any product that we have ourselves that we can present to the Latino market. If I sell one bottle or one can to 50 million people a month, I think I'll be okay.
Right.
So,
No.
So that's the whole concept. So it's opened many doors. Not only that, we've been contacted by multiple different companies in Mexico through our website inquiring about, hey, can you guys do something else? Hey, I'm interested in your drinks. The law just passed. And we have to refer them to our client in Mexico. He holds the keys to the gate. So, so we know it's a big hit. We know we are known now in Mexico. By God, we just barely were known in Texas. Now we're known in the whole entire country down south the border. So it's opened up many doors for us. Very, very exciting.
Let's, we couldn't be more excited. So
you're going to have to learn Spanish.
We're going to have to learn how to say great.
Yeah, estupendo.
How do you say great?
Estupendo.
So we also have, and just in terms of all of the promotion that CBD Life and Janko has been doing for CBD Life, and explain Janko's role within CBD Life.
I'll give you a little bit of background of Janko. Janko started the company when he was 18 years old. His grandfather and his father gave him the keys to a pharmaceutical company, part of RCH Group. And the youngest of the whole team of family that work in that company, or at least one of the youngest, and he made it very successful in the past 12 years. And so he's so into the wellness for life kind of model that we have. So he imported different type of supplements from the United States, from China, from Canada, from India into Mexico and put them in the market in pharmaceutical companies such as like CVS, but Farmacia Benavides, which is equal to CVS in the United States. And he became very successful too. It became the COO of that company. The Chief Commercial Officer of that company. And about 2.5 years ago, roughly 2.5 years ago, he saw that the CBD market was going to blow up in the United States. And he went to his superiors and said, I'd like to have a budget of maybe, $50 million or $25 million to put something together. And he was able to prove himself with the pharmaceutical company that they believed in him and said, make it happen. So he was one of the first lobbyists and the first person going to the government in Mexico and says, we need to make this happen. Because in order for me to make this happen, I need you to change the law, literally. And so he was one of the first guys who was the pioneers of this product 2.5 years ago. Started the whole working with COFEPRIS, working with partners. And that's one of the reasons why he was granted most of the permits for Mexico. I believe he wants to turn the CBD industry in Mexico, if not twice as it is in the United States, in Mexico. He wants to make it bigger than the United States and down south. So he can have the United States market knock on the door and say, hey, bring it back this way. So, I got a lot of guts for the guy. I mean, young guy, and he's got a vision, and when he set his mind to it, and he's been achieving it every single one of them. So
that's impressive.
That's how he started it. So.
That's very impressive. We have another screenshot that we want to show from an article that is that one.
Yeah, we had it translated it's in Spanish, but Google Translation can translate for you automatically if you were to look it up. This is from El Financiero, sort of the equation of the Washington Post. Right. It's a newspaper out there, and they talk about. You could read it in English, but here's where he's talking about the pharmacists that he's already got committed to purchase the drinks and his products, the other products as well. Farmacia San Pablo, Farmacias El Ahorro, Nutriza, Farmacias, Farmacia Guadalajara, and one of the most important ones was Amazon. Getting Amazon. So here's where he tells everybody that he's been officially approved. So, and again, this is an industry that they forecast to be a $50 million, startup industry of the drinks and the CBD products, but mainly the drinks. Just want to add that up.
So beyond that, he's done several different interviews, and I think we have a clip of one of the interviews that we were looking at before we started the podcast today. Matt, if you could pull up that clip. I know there was a couple of different portions of that we're looking at.
He's been interviewed by, we lost track of how many folks have gone to the office and interviewed him, because they literally call him the new kid in town who's going to be given Red Bull and Monster a headache. So that one of the articles that we just showed talks about, it starts with, do you remember who got the permits? This is the people who's going to give, Red Bull and Monster a run for their money.
Right.
Which I have a feeling somebody's going to be knocking on our doors pretty damn soon about, hey, you did this for this guy, so what can you do for us? Well, talk to him, see what happens. But so this is some of the clips that he showed. Those are some of the models of, prototypes of the cans and the drinks. And here's a pretty neat interview that he did.
Y son totalmente legales.
Todos los productos ya están en fabricación, van a estar disponibles a partir de enero del 2019. A finales llenamos el canal y vamos a estar de venta en Farmacias del Ahorro, San Pablo, Benavides, ISA, Guadalajara, Nutriza, por ejemplo. También contamos con el apoyo de Amazon México, eso es algo muy innovador. Y de tiendas de retail, desde los más baratos hasta el City Market.
So, he's just saying basically what I just said, that he's actually, developed or has landed the contracts with several pharmaceutical companies already, names the ones that I just named, and talks about how, that they're the most important part for him, or the most innovative one, and it's the Amazon Mexico picking up the drinks and his product. So,
okay.
Energética.
El Rocket High es una bebida carbonatada que contiene cafeína, que contiene vitaminas, guaraná, no tiene taurina, eso es muy importante. Y también muy importante, intentando cuidar la salud de nuestros clientes, tenemos azúcar de betabel. Costo de la bebida comparativa sería el mismo al que está ahorita en el mercado, que son 30 a 35 pesos. Queremos realmente ser muy accesibles.
Cabe recordar que en noviembre...
So he talks about the Rocket High and what's in it and what was important for him, which is to remove, I think it's taurine. It's the ingredient. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, that's it. That's the way you pronounce it.
Perfect.
So you
See?
hit a nail on the head.
Yes. But that was very important for him because, again, he has the same motto as we do, wellness for life, right? And so he wanted to provide the country a beverage that would give you a good natural source of energy with the best available way to do it without sacrificing any damage into your well-being. So, and that was our job. And so we completed it.
So the important takeaways is that he is heavily promoting this drink. He's
aggressively, very
aggressively promoting it. That they're trying to make a mark and displace Monster and Red Bull. So they're going after the big boys here, and they've got the resources to do it.
Absolutely.
We've got the exclusive contract to produce these drinks for CBD Life. And
absolutely.
We're tied to them not only because of our relationship with them, but because of the way the permits were issued.
Absolutely.
So that's important for our shareholders to understand. And we are moving into a new year. So this is a new company. And I'd like to say for the shareholders who have supported us during this last year, we really appreciate that. For the shareholders who have criticized us, please be patient. I appreciate your criticism. 2019 is going to be a different year, and you're going to see a whole new company. Just sit tight. So I think this has been a good podcast. We've shared a lot of really good, useful information, and Happy New Year to everybody.
Same here. I appreciate the year. So it's been great.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.